Hi, my name is Ken Masterson. I wrote a microbiome prescription website, and today I want to show a new feature which is updated. Actually, it's an old feature which has been updated and revised and is very made better. Um, what it is it looks at symptoms you have and then looks at what probable symptoms you may also have. And the purpose is roughly to gives you a head up for directions you could be having, or in some cases, some of the practitioners who've used the site has found that as being particularly effective in making sure the intake documentation is complete, because often patients do not mention symptoms they have, but using microbiome prescription and their microbiome, the practitioner asks about it and says, "Oh yes, I do have that," which means the records are far more complete. Okay, so where is this new feature hiding? Information from studies, symptoms associations, which is pretty straightforward, and it just loads the page. And down the bottom we have symptoms, and they are sorted by relative percentage. The most common decreasing, you could sort it alphabetically if you want. And you can see what percentage, for example, 60 to 70-year-olds, we have 8% of people there. 70 to 80, we have only 0.85. So you can see what percentage meet each one of the symptoms. So, for example, let's suppose we go and we take 60 to 65. We click that, and it will recalculate, and now it will show the 96 symptoms which has increased or decreased odds with a somebody who is in 60 to 70 odds. Decreased odds for understanding some things. Physical work sitting has to decrease odds. Waking up early in the morning has increased odds, and that's to that one. And let's see what happened. We each time it recalculated and says, okay, what are the odds of that alone? And basically, we see type O positive. Right? Let's see what happened when we click that. Now we click down, and what we are now doing is we're dealing with looking at people who have all of those symptoms and seeing what else do those people also have. For example, ringing in the ears, and we could go down to something more rare like general depression, and that reduce it. Dealing with, let's say, pain, and there we have basically brain fog being the only one where we have all those things, and there is one thing that's statistically significant, and that thing is brain fog. We click that, and that's it. Now we can go back and we can say, okay, what if we got rid of the old type? It doesn't really change anything. In other words, that was a proxy. Let's take a look at wake up early in the morning. Still has no impact. Let's take a look at neurological audio. Okay, now we get rid of that and we have bloating and difficulty paying attention for a long time. And let's see what happens if we get rid of the age filtering. And then we get a lot more because different ages have certain characteristics. Now, once you've gone through or played for a while, you could go back and do that. And we could go and take a look at, let's say, very rare things like, oh, okay, as you can see, we have, okay, let's take a look. Let's look at somebody with UC. And what we find is we have there, and hey, I want to know, that's it. So what we have, we actually have the increased odds that it's actually a male who has it. Chances to have unrefreshed sleep, bloating, problems staying asleep, and general fatigue. So we end up literally drawing down and finding out, compared to people who have all of these symptoms, what other symptoms show up with a higher statistical significance. And you can basically say, okay, so we can do that. Now if we get rid of that one, we end up with a whole bunch of things that you see really filters down the group. And Crohn's, we don't have that. How about trying something like mast cell issues? We click here. And we have a lot number of symptoms. We can have, for example, let's go in towards the end. Chest pain and unrefreshing sleep. So basically, its ability to play in, and what it does is it means that looking at everybody of the 3,000 people who have annotated their symptoms, you can go in and see what else is shared in common with those people where people with those particular characteristics have increased odds of having other characteristics. Doesn't mean it is guaranteed to happen, but it just increased odds. For example, here, the relative percentage based on the amount of data we have is about 80% chance of having that. If we go to other things, remove that, and then unrefreshing sleep 77, mainly because it's a very common aspect. If we go back here and unrefreshed sleep, we see that only 30% of people with unrefreshed sleep are in the sample. But when you add in some of those conditions, then the percentage of people who have that condition jumps up to, in this case, 78, 80%. In other words, unrefreshed sleep ends up filtering the groups to a whole bunch of things. Unrefreshing sleep, for example, brain fog, and then we see everything, general fatigue, and a bunch of these are typical for brain fog, but bloating doesn't happen as often. The odds is about 50% time. So again, you need to play with it. The overall percentages are here, but down here are the percentages relative to what you have selected up at the top. Hopefully that makes sense to you. What you select here and the odds of each one of them against everybody is there, but down at the bottom the percentages are based on those who have all of those things. So the percentages will be different because we are including only people with those conditions in our calculations here. Okay, at that point in time, I think I'll shut up and get this up. So it should be up in the next day or so. I'm working on my local copy because this site is down again. The hosting folks they have almost 1 million different customers, and they are working their butts off getting everybody to back up. And they were up for a while today, and now they're down. It's being in IT support, I know, it happens. Just give them time. So I apologize for the site being up. It's outside my hands, actually outside of my provider's hands, because the follow-up is 3 levels down with who they are using for a cloud provider who has not been named. Okay, so that's it.